You ever learn something really cool and then realize when you try to repeat it back to somebody that you didn't really completely understand? Then you try to recite it back and you're like, so like, but the point is, it's really cool because I got one for you.
Hit me with it. I'm fascinated now.
Okay. Do you know why people love tomato juice on airplanes, but you don't really see people sipping tomato juice elsewhere?
Mr. Fruit, I can't say I've ever heard of this, but continue on. I'm interested.
Make this your best season yet with the nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Something really cool that happened with Factor the other day. I ordered a box and one of the meals actually exploded in the box. And Factor gave me a brand new box within 2 days of me telling them what my issue was. They are really there listening to their customers if anything happens. The customer satisfactory division within Factor is so awesome. So Cindy and I were able to enjoy all those meals. And for me, which is really hard, eat a little bit more healthy. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals, choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Get started at factormeals.com/GG50off and use code GG50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code GG50off at factormeals.com/GG50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
Me too, right? So anyway, this is the part where it comes in. I don't entirely remember. But the point is, the gist is, therefore, if so, then fact, part of the elevation in something doing with like your eardrum and your brain and something, it changes something and shifts it just a little bit so that certain things taste different at high elevation. So much so that it's something like it's like a certain chemical or whatever you receive completely differently that just so happens to be in a couple foods like tomato juice, but also why other food tastes different up in the air, like normal sweets don't taste as sweet. But something like tomato juice, the flavor is essentially enhanced. So you're getting like tomato juice plus up there. And there's a couple other ones that fall into that whole umbrella of that certain compound. But that's the whole point. I can't remember the specifics or what it's called, but the cool thing is there's literally a reason why people like tomato juice more on airplanes because it literally tastes different and or better. Do note, I don't like them either way. So it doesn't make it better for me. I still don't like it. But now you know.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GG Over Easy podcast. Look, what do you want from me? Rob's not here. Dude's on his 50th bachelor party. I don't even know this many people in my life, man. And
Yeah, Rob has like a fucking like a yellow book of. Do you remember yellow books? Oh my god.
oh, I remember Yellow Book.
Yellow books is basically
Miserable.
because we didn't have we didn't just have repositories on the internet of people's phone numbers and or were easily accessible on like Google. So we would have to like look them up in yellow books, these big ass fucking books of numbers. So, anyways,
Mm-hmm.
now that
Kill a man with those.
shown my age, Rob has a fucking yellow book of people that he just goes to bachelor parties.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
He's like, yeah, my boy, Bingle Bop Pickle Pop, was
Like,
marrying
oh yeah,
his
Bingle.
fiance, and we're just gonna go and have some fun. And like, how many? This is like the fifth or sixth bachelor party this dude has gone on in the past.
Like 2 years, I swear, or
Yeah,
something, man.
Rob
I
gets around. Rob gets
I swear I don't
around.
even have that many friends, much less do I think of them would invite me to their bachelor party.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been invited to 2. Uh, one was my brother's, and I had COVID, couldn't go, and the second one was Rob's.
Yep.
Wait, no, but Rob didn't even have one. Okay, so I've only been invited to because then, like, my best friend Corey had a wedding, didn't do a bachelor party. I didn't have a bachelor party. Yeah, so that's
Oh,
it. That's send tweet. So anyway, that does remind me, speaking of Yellow Pages, though, it always wasn't mine too thinking back. It wasn't that long ago, but the day and age where you go to the movie theater or you look in the newspaper to see what movie times there are, because otherwise you wouldn't know. And you can't reserve seats or tickets. You go there, look for a time, be like, oh, that'll work. We'll take a ticket. Then you go in and hope you get a seat. That's why before Fandango or the AMC app or whatever, your boy would get to that theater early. Let me tell you what, especially if I really wanted to see it, I'd get there. I'm like first in the theater, bro. You got to get middle. Back in the day, I ain't fighting for seats, man. So I don't necessarily miss it, but it's so weird because there are so many people, especially the younger generation growing up, that will just have no idea what that's like. In fact, I imagine most of them are like, why do they have people in the front? Why do they even have these booth things? What are these for?
What do these do? What
Well,
purpose do they
believe it or
serve?
not, back in my day, but that's what my mom and I used to always do. It's also probably why I love going to movie theaters so much. For her, it was her escape, and so therefore, for me, it was my escape. And growing up, my brothers didn't love movies as much as I did, so I would just accompany my mom to whatever movie she'd want to go to because I just like going to the theaters.
Yeah.
And it would be like Saturday morning, we'd get the newspaper, look at the time, she'd pick one. It's also why I've seen a random amount of rom-com movies. I haven't seen any in the past like 10 years, but that's because I moved out. But I don't know, from like 2001 to 2012 or something. Probably seen most of those rom-com movies because my mom loved rom-com movies. So I guess I'm gonna go see some rom-com movies. And Claire's always surprised when I'm like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Yep." Like, "What? When did you see that?" I'm like, "I don't know. My mom and I went at some point."
After this also brings me to the interest of I have to really get into the habit of doing what you do, where you just kind of go see movies on your own as well. Because I was like, I really wanted to go see the Minecraft movie. Listen, okay, now bear with me. I want to go see the Minecraft
Hold up.
movie, and I don't know why. I just got like the urge. The chicken jockey meme is like in my head. That's like my virtual, like internal brain screensaver. And so I can't stop thinking about chicken jockey. There was even like a some Minecraft YouTuber drama, as there always is, and the name of the
Pikachu shock face.
and the name of the Google Doc was Google Docky. So I don't know. I just
That
really
killed
want
me
to go
now.
see it. I just really want to go see it because it just seems so stupid and useless and dumb in every single possible way I can imagine. And I want it so bad because it is just so stupid and I need it in my life right now. And I literally told my partner this. I was like, let's go. Do you want to go see the Minecraft movie? And immediately he was like, no, I don't want to go see the Minecraft movie. So I need to just
Beige.
go. I need to just go.
Also beige. So yeah, you just need to. I mean, I 100% get it. I used to always just go by myself or whatever. Didn't have a problem. Or maybe I'd just see if a friend wanted to. I had my old friend Hayden. I haven't really seen him since high school. Uh, but he was like my movie buddy in high school. We both love movies, most of the same movies, but he was pretty much just like, yo, I love cinema. I love movies. You ever want to go see one? Hit me up. So if I ever went to go see with somebody, I always had Hayden. Otherwise, probably go by myself if my mom did want to see it. And then out of high school, moved out, went to see movies on my own. But then I had to go and get in a relationship. So then I got used
With
to
the
going
love
with a
of my
partner.
life.
Yeah, whatever, man. So I got used to going to see movies with Claire, and that was fun. But then I did that for I don't freaking know, like 8 years or whatever. Until she was finally like, "Yeah, I don't actually like going to the movies. I've just kind of been doing it because you like it." And then I'm like, "What the fudge?" Uh,
Bro.
so it took me a while to get back, but now I'm totally fine going to movies again. I'm back in the swing of things, and now it's just like I'll ask her just to see if she wants to go, and if she says no, I'm totally fine. I'm like, "Bet I'm going anyway," and I'm
Yeah.
back into it. And now it's like, "Oh, I want to see this thing." Bet doesn't matter if someone's going with me or not. Uh, and it's great. So haven't seen anything since Sinners. I went on a business trip this last week, which unfortunately can't talk about anything. I
Yeah.
really wish I could because it was a really fun week, but I can't talk about anything. I don't think I ever will, which is unfortunate, but it was really fun. Uh, Very tiring though. I mean, it was like travel that Monday. It was like 3 12 or 13-hour days in a row. Flew back on Friday. Landed immediately. Came back. We played marathon, which we'll get to in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about just a few things traveling, just like two. One, first off, the company that flew me out, first class, big fan.
Ooh. It's been a
Nobody's ever flown me
while.
first class.
Yeah, well, it's been a
Yeah,
while since you've gotten in
fly to
these
anything.
dire times, get like a paid for trip.
Literally, I think this is the first post-COVID,
Yeah.
eh, which is unfortunate. Uh, Before, I was getting sick of them, and I was like, okay, and I'd skip a couple. I'm like, all right. But then I didn't realize how much I'd missed them when they all disappeared, especially because I think I've talked about it during COVID. They realized, wait a minute, we can just boot up like Zoom or Teams, have you remote desktop. We don't need to make a big event or hoorah off this and blah, 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 which, like, sure, saves me some time. But also, then I just don't get to meet people or see, like, the amount of networking I did this last week is more than I've done in the last 5 years. Because it's way easier to do in person or meet new people, make some friends. So I do miss it for that reason. But this is the first company, pre-COVID or not, to fly me first class. My man. So that was cool. Granted, it wasn't the longest flight, which, to be fair, I mean, it was domestic, and because I'm in Colorado, pretty much like the longest flight is probably East Coast, which is maybe like 3. One nice thing about Colorado is we're essentially kind of central to everything. So, like, anyway you go, longest is maybe 3. I don't know. Like, if I were to go northeast, like past New York, then that'd be like 3.5. I have no idea. But just long or just short enough that I don't get a free meal. It's like, what the fudge? Whatever. But it was still cool. And on my little boarding pass, it's like, ooh, United Premier Access. And I'm like, ooh, I've never had that because at Colorado and Denver, DIA, it's like the United hub. So we have this like super bougie United Premier Access lounge thing. That's like the whole second floor of like B terminal or whatever. Never been there, obviously, because I don't freaking have access. I'm not gonna pay for the club. I don't travel enough, but I'm like, ooh, now I at least get to use it. So here's the thing. Tells me I have premier access. I get in line. I don't know. This can't be that. I swear to God, everybody in the airport was in line for this, and yet there's still. So I'm like, how many people? How many does the club fit? How many people are able to get in this club? Whatever. Clearly not that exclusive. What does it say about the fact that I still don't? I'm still not in there. But I get in line, go up there. You like scan your boarding pass. Oh, I'm the dude holding up the line because it's like, and then it's red, and it says domestic first flight does not count or like doesn't work. And
What?
I'm like, huh? First off, it says on my boarding thing, oh, and just because I'm just domestic first flight, I'm not good enough. It seems like
Dang.
you're letting everybody and their mom in here. So then I have to be like, and then and there's like 30 people behind me in this. I'm like, oh, my fuck. So then I just have to do the walk of shame back out. Oh, I was so upset. So then I went to Smash Burger, got me
And then
large
you went to
smash
go
fries,
smash.
and
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, okay.
just drowned myself in some oily, delicious, salty fries.
So now what? th- So what happened? Was that it? Was that the end of your
And
journey?
the sad, short journey. I was so excited. And Claire's like, "Oh, you have to tell me how it is," and then I have text back. They won't let me in. So I just had to sit at my terminal because I was also early because I didn't want to miss my flight.
Yeah.
I just sat at my terminal like a jabroni for an hour because I was also like,
Aw.
"Ooh, if I have club access, I might as well enjoy it. I'll go a little early, you know." So that because like, when am I going to get this chance again? Screw me. So anyway, United Lounge is stupid anyway. Everyone that goes in there is stupid and dumb. Maybe that's not true, but United's dumb. and I hate them. Secondly,
Yeah, heck you, United.
my ears still get messed up from flying, bro. People always say like, "Oh, well, just like, have you tried yawning? Have you tried chewing gum?" First off, braces, jaw. And have you tried like clearing out or like blowing out your nose, whatever? Because you can like equalize with your nose and whatnot. Fun fact: the one time I did that, blew out my eardrums. Uh, I can't do it because the whole problem is my ears have trouble equalizing. I can't go underwater more than like 3 feet without getting an ear infection. Flying is absolutely miserable. That's why, like, my dad and brother, when I was younger, they used to scuba dive occasionally every now and then. They always want to know if I was. No, thank you. I don't want to blow my eardrums out in the middle of the ocean. Uh, and then that's why even when I swimmed, I had problems swimming competitively because I couldn't do the proper flip turns on the freestyle because I get an ear infection. Uh, I've just had problems with it, and I had all the surgeries when I was a kid. Blah blah blah. So flying is always like a coin flip on whether or not this is going to be the worst day of my life. And the flight there wasn't bad, thankfully. Wasn't too bad. The flight back was one of the worst days of my life, as it tends to be. Just like freaking, it's so annoying too because my ears will just be going through it, popping, boom, and it sounds like a machine gun. It's usually my left ear too. It's just like, and I'm like, oh my god. And then eventually I land. I still can't hear on my left ear, pretty much. I still got like 10% hearing right now. And I've never found a solution. And again, people, I tried drinking water, yawning. I can't chew gum right now. That never really helped though. But if anyone has some hack, if you have the same problems out there, that is like surefire. I make sure not to be asleep when we uh take off or land so that I'm not sleeping during the equalizing because that usually always makes it worse. If I'm asleep, I wake up just blasted. I've tried like certain earbuds, nothing. I hate flying for that reason because it's always just like,
You know,
how miserable will this be?
you know what I found out literally yesterday that I didn't realize was a thing? I didn't realize that not everyone comes with the ability to pop their ears with the ear rumble. You know how
I
when
mean,
you know how when you yawn, you and like your ears start rumbling because you're yawning? I thought everyone could just like mimic the same mouth motion as a yawn and like flex a certain muscle and do that same ear rumbly.
I try.
So I've always just been able to pop my own ears because I'd be rumbling my ears. And it wasn't until
I'll
yesterday
be
when
rumbling.
I was like going through articles and like read it, and I realized someone was like, there was a whole community like ear rumblers. I was like, what is this? And they're like, yeah. Apparently, I just always had the ability to rumble my ears, and so whenever I'm on airplanes, whenever people are like, oh, my ears get shredded, I was thinking like, oh yeah, me too. I have to pop my ears so often, and
Oh, I wish I could.
no one was ever like, oh, that's weird. Like you just pop your ears on demand. So I just assumed, oh, everyone could just pop their ears and rumble their ears and pop their ears whenever they want. Nope, apparently not. So yesterday I learned. So now I understand how frustrating it is when you're just sitting there with your ears feeling like they basically have like a water bubble in them, just annoyed the whole time. And waiting for a yawn is a lot harder than it sounds like because that's just kind of like you can't just yawn on demand.
I try. Well, that's just I mimic the same thing. Uh, but yeah, no. And for me, it's not like, ooh, there's bubbles in my ear. It's more like my ear's getting dick punched
Yep.
over and over. And then it starts to feel like it feels like your head's
The
gonna
pressure,
explode
yeah,
and
the
just keeps
pressure in
getting
your ears
bigger. And then it's like,
hurts.
I'm gonna freaking die, man. Chewing is supposed to help. Okay, again, one, can't do gum. Okay.
I have heard
And
gum, yeah.
two, it doesn't help. It doesn't help me. I'm telling you. Sometimes my right ear isn't as bad, and that's what I'm saying. But my left ear, rather. Because again, I've had issues with that ear since I was like 2. And it remains the same. So yeah, I hate flights for that reason. But I will
Yeah,
say it's nice being first class. You're on boarding group 1. You just kind of mosey in. You get there first. You don't have to worry about overhead space. You chill. You're first off as well. The rich get richer, man.
I hate it.
Uh, Although I'm convinced like everybody flying first for the most part did not pay for it themselves like I did. I swear, like especially on like what I don't get like those 2 hour flights, man. Like mine was like 2.5 or something. I don't know. But like not in a million years would I bother spending the extra money. Granted, I've never bought first, but like if I was gonna buy first class, it's like if I was going international or something, which I wouldn't do again because that's so expensive. But if I had to choose, I do something where like, oh, it's gonna actually make some meaningful impact, or like I don't know if it was like a red eye or like you need some sleep, like really need some sleep or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm convinced most of them, are, a company paid for it, or they have miles, or they're a platinum plus gold Sigma chicken jockey member. I don't really know. So it's all the same to me. But anyway, so yeah, I had a fun trip. Wish I could tell you guys about it.
I
If I
mean,
can one day, I will.
yeah. I
But
mean, it sounds like you were at a marathon.
well, some might say, because one way or the other, I came back and played marathon with you. We played marathon for the first
Whoa!
time.
We did play marathon. We played marathon. I was really looking forward to playing with Rob if he ever gets back from his eternal
Oh, but sorry, I have
summer
8 billion
vacation.
friends who want to take me on bachelor parties, and I'm sipping mojitos on the beach or whatever.
Everyone's
Okay.
chomping at the bit to get on Rob's meat. So we did end up playing marathon with Ryder for a little bit. That was fun. And then we played with Tash, who was dog shit, shockingly.
Come on, man.
And no, playing with Tash was really cool. We hadn't played with him in a while. And Tash has been grinding marathon. I didn't
It's been a
realize
while.
how much he
Yeah.
had enjoyed this game, which is pretty cool. I mean, it was nice to see that he enjoyed it a lot.
I think he enjoyed it more than he thought he would.
I think I can listen. I think it has a lot of
Listening?
potential. That's for sure. I think it has an incredible amount of potential. I think it is a testament that neither Fruit or I the next day had any interest in playing more marathon.
Yeah, I could have made. Well, okay, so there's a couple reasons too. Yeah, I wasn't like chomping at the bit, but also I just needed to really not do much Saturday. It was
That's fair.
a busy week. Um, but yeah, I wasn't like chomping at the bit. Also because I don't know like how many alpha codes they're sending out or like how often, but Friday night was actually a bit of a peak. But between Saturday and today, peak has been like 1,600 people. I think right now there's like 600. They're all sweats, man. Like it is just such a diluted pool. Because day one, it peaked at like 6,900 people. Nice.
Nice.
But then the next day dropped to like a peak of like 2,000. And so it was like people probably who got it were curious. I don't know if it says a lot that 2/3 just dropped and haven't seen them come back. Uh, and maybe that is the case. Just like, oh, it's an alpha, whatever. I just want to see what it is, play it. Okay. I don't want to commit to an alpha. I just want to know. Maybe I'll commit to the full game. I don't know their thinking. But it means that there's not many noobs running around. Um, and in fact, we certainly figured that out when we went to the second map. Um,
I will say
and
I was having a really good time on the first map, and then we went to the second map, which
it was
sucks
definitely
because
better.
the second map is clearly a much more well designed map, like visually,
Yeah.
and we were just getting our tits rocked.
Oh, just it's like I was on that plane again, man. Dick punch, dick punch, dick punch.
Ears
Uh,
getting eaten up,
yeah.
ate up.
Oh well, not to mention. Well, we first started playing, and so I got home, and again, I can barely hear out of my left ear. I'm like, whatever. What am I gonna do? We start playing, and then I feel like I'm getting gaslit because like I'm sitting here, I'll hear shoot or someone shoot me. I look the other way. I'm like, wait, what? And it turns out they're shooting me from the other way. I'm like, bro, is like that just messing me up that bad? Like I can't hear. And at one point we're like running, and you guys are a little bit behind me. I hear some shit. I look back. I'm like, you guys shooting? You're like, no. I'm like, huh? Turn around. Turns out it's PvP people shooting me. I didn't know. Took me a while to realize for whatever reason from the time I left and came back, my headphones just swapped audio. Left was coming out of right, right was coming out of left. So I couldn't hear out of my left, and then the left was coming out of the right. So yeah, boy was confused. Ended up putting the headphones on backwards for a temporary fix. I ended up figuring it out yesterday. That was disorienting. But that aside, yeah, we played mostly the first round. I don't know. We played like well. say like 5.5 hours. The first like 4.5 was the first map, which I think is called Perimeter, and that was pretty fun. Then we played the second map, which Blue mentioned, called Dire Marsh. Not quite as fun. Yeah, it just felt like it was a different world. The because I mean, I think Tarkov kind of does something similar. In this case, the game didn't expressly say like this map is harder, but it's kind of the second. Like Perimeter's first, this one's listed second, and then it appears that rare like the first map you're more likely to see like blue and green gear. Second map you're more likely to see green and blue, and then like higher odds of purple, whatever. And then the enemies also between the maps, you'll find the harder ones more often on the second one. So it's clear it's like okay, it's like progression, which also means the more geared people are going to Dire Marsh, and also the more sweats because they're also going because they know the other geared people are going. And once you start doing contracts with all the different sponsors or whatever they're called, companies, uh, a lot of them start with like asking you to do stuff in Perimeter, but then you get to a mission, it's like, go collect this in Dire Marsh. And you're like, okay, how bad could it be? Jesus Christ. And yeah, it's like we played a different game. The Perimeter was fun. Uh, I think it didn't really start clicking though, because when we first hopped in, the first like the first game was where I had the audio mix up. Ended up finding a PvP fight. I thought they were just AI straight up at the time. I'm like, wait, I guess those are players. Didn't even occur to me because I saw a random Titan dude out in the distance and he just looked like a robot. So I'm like, I don't freaking know.
It's really hard to differentiate players.
Or at least the Titan guy. The other guys, it's like, okay, you don't look like
Yeah.
like a robot. But the Titan guy from a distance, especially game one, I'm like, oh, that's just a robot NPC. Psych. And so that game was over pretty quick. And then we got like 3 successful runs after that, but we didn't see a single player. So I was like, are we playing a PvE game? So that was okay, and we were at least making progress. But I think it was like the 4th game where we went from seeing no players to wiping, I think, like 3 teams at one spot. That's when I'm like, all right, now we're talking. Now you got me. This is what I need. And that's when it really got fun, frankly. It was nice during the PvE stuff because it gave me some time to get a little more familiarized. A lot of the loot stuff, I still kind of know what I'm looting, but for the most part, picking a whole bunch of stuff and it's like, I don't freaking, this looks rare. I don't know. Do I have space? But it's the PvP fights that obviously shine the most. Don't get me wrong, that game went well. We lost plenty of fights as well, including one where like we were like seconds away from an extract. Brutal. Didn't even think about it. We thought we were so safe, you know. We lived so long, living so large. But yeah, as a whole, I had fun. I guess the best way I could put it is like the next day I wasn't like, yo, Blue, hop on, bro. Let's freaking do it. And again, I think part of that too is I don't really feel like hopping on there and fighting the already diluted alpha player base of probably people who just are good at extraction shooters from the get-go. Or like know what the fudge they're doing. Because yeah, it was like fighting PvP with some people on Perimeter. I'm like, okay, I understand what I'm doing. I feel like I have a chance here. And then going to Dire Marsh, and it's like, oh dear God, what happened? I feel like we don't stand the slightest chance. I think we did like 3 or 4 runs. I maybe got like 1 knock, and it was actually in the extraction, and then they got extracted because I couldn't finish them fast enough. Don't know how I feel about that. I feel like, I guess it would suck because your friends get ported, but like if you get down before the safe period of the extraction, couldn't still port you, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. Yeah, as a whole, I'll try to play some more to get some more thoughts before alpha ends and whatnot. But the progression system is interesting outside of it, where like you can see the sort of seasonal model. You have different sponsors who you take contracts with, doing the contracts and getting stuff levels their faction. leveling their factions lets you level them up, and each one has like upgrade skill trees that are kind of like meta progression that will reset at the end of seasons. But they're all not all of them are pretty impactful, but you can see the usefulness. Like the first one you try to get is like 8 extra rows of vault space, which is super needy because they give you like no vault space. But there's even stuff like you get heat back faster or like reduced heat usage, which is like the stamina bar, like running around the map. Certain stuff like more resistances to certain things. Um, different things to purchase from the black market to make it a little easier to find certain things to go into new runs if you end up losing stuff, or like being able to start with a backpack, which is real nice. And so that'll make sense. The upgrades give you something to do regardless of going into a map. So like even if we didn't find PvP, it didn't feel completely wasted. It's like, well, at least I ended up doing my contract. But it also feels like, and I don't know if perhaps that's because of the different population, it felt harder to find PvP in Perimeter, even if you were looking for it.
Yeah.
Dire Marsh, it felt like you couldn't escape it. And I don't know if necessarily that's the map or the way the map pushes people, or if it's because Dire Marsh has all the people like we were who were like, let's go find people. And Perimeter is more of the people learning the game and like, ooh, I'm scared. I just want to do my contracts. But yeah, the games were very out because like that one game we finally found PvP, suddenly like every team and their mom showed up. Every other game, again, it was like you could tell me this is PvE and I believe you.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that weird cadence, and it's sort of like a weird paradox because like I don't want to PvP and die, but I think I might rather do that than PvE and live. I don't know. It's just more exciting. Of course, then I lose my gear and it's like, well, that sucks. Um, but I've already, especially it's easier because it's an alpha too, but I'm just like, hey, this is cool. I'm just gonna use it immediately. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna be like, ooh, I should save this. Just use it. If I lose it, so be it. Spoilers, the first time I did that, yep, immediately lost all my cool stuff. Um, but yeah, there's sort of that weird cadence, and I mean it's an quote unquote alpha. Although they say alpha, I don't know. The game's out within 5 months. I feel like this is more like a beta. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to see how much actually changes before then. Uh, but some of the balance, definitely feels like some of the guns I pick up, I'm like, this is literal doo doo. And then there are other ones like it's almost like that scout rifle, like precision rifle. That's just in a class of its own. And so if I was picking up some guns trying to use them, and then I feel like I'm shooting paper bullets. So that discrepancy needs to be fixed. There's some balance stuff too, where like I'm running around with a tier 1 shield. If I fight someone with, I think blue's like tier 3, it's like a different ball game. It's like a double time to kill. So it just feels. I mean, gear should have some impact, but especially against higher shields, it's like we're literally playing a different game. TTK is wildly different like this. So there's some stuff like that, but as a whole, I did play it. Played it for longer than I thought that night. I had fun, but again, I didn't walk away wowed or like blown away. It was more like oh, when this releases, I could see myself playing this, but not in the way of me hoping of like, oh yeah, this is going to be my main game from here on out. Uh, I will say I'd be more likely to play it though if come release and stuff like you play it and MTash is playing it and there are people to play it with. I think I'm more likely. But you're going to be hard pressed to find me filling a random squad. Shout out to everybody who does. And most of them were talking about how terrible it is. And I know they're going for this specific thing where they don't want solo play, but I think that's going to turn a lot of people off. Not having that option, or rather, I mean, sure, you can go in and not fill, but like, good luck with that, right? You're just going to get ganked by 3.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting game. I share all of my same problems with you about it. I was kind of letting you get through it. I was just like, Mr. Fruit, the floor is yours. But I have all the same problems. I will say that probably the biggest one that annoyed me is that loot feels really weird. I don't know. Like as soon as I started, it was really hard to differentiate what goes where. Like a lot of the stuff is valuables, which okay, I get it. Like, but like so many of the icons are so similar, it's really hard to differentiate at times. But eventually I got there. There's like some weapon mods and stuff that like I wouldn't be able to see. I wouldn't be able to know unless I like really read through each of the icons, and which is fine. But I think the biggest thing is like there's like no weapon attachments that ever drop. There is so many different like so much of the loot pool is supposed to be like enhancing your runner, which is okay, but that's not really like fun loot to me. Like the fun loot is like, oh, this cool weapon, oh, this cool attachment, oh, this cool like the thing that's in my hand that I'm using most often. And I think there's a case for like having less slots, having like more influential like modifications on your person instead of having like God, like 8 slots you could slot into your character. But I don't know. That's their design decision, so I respect it. But I was just kind of shocked. Like every single time I like there was a gun to pick up, it was the same AR. It was the same AR and the same LMG, and it was just kind of frustrating not getting a proper variety of weapons. And when I understand if those are like the starter weapons and you want most people to get those, but like I never saw. It was really rare to find a sniper. It was really rare to find like one of those scout rifles. Like there's 2 different ones. It was really rare to find the other auto rifle. And mind you, you find them and most of the time they're great value anyway. So,
Right.
you know, maybe the next most common one was like the SMGs and stuff, but I was just kind of shocked like the variety of weapons is so not there when you're looting and stuff. And I understand a lot of it for sure is like doing the research for the different factions, which I think they did a really good job of. You know, you get like really cool rewards to like drop in with. The sponsor kits are really, really good. Those are awesome. And I'm really interested in seeing what the sponsor kits for the different factions are. That'd be really cool. So there's definitely like a hook on, there's definitely a hook there of the factions essentially being the progression system, which I like. I think they did a really good job on the progression system for an extraction shooter. But like, I guess the looting in Marathon didn't feel nearly as valuable as doing the contracts. And I'm sure we're gonna see more like. I'm sure there's a limit to the loot pool right now because there's only so many like points of interest to go like do the secrets of and like get the keys of, and they don't reveal too much right now, but I don't know, it just felt okay. It felt weird that like the things that changed the gameplay the most were the mods on your runners and not necessarily the guns you find. It was interesting. I will say I was a little worried about it just being a PvP fest, and some of the matches are like it's either like you run into every single team or you're just playing PvE the whole time, and the PvE is really fun. Like this is probably the most fun I've had shooting AI in an extraction shooter so far, because like the mobs are actually moving, they're running, they're like dodging your shots,
aggressive,
and they're really aggressive. They want to kill you, and I do kind of like that like the line is blurred between like what is shooting you as AI, because AI can shoot you from really far away, and also like, oh, that's a human, oh, they're fucking my shit up.
Yeah.
I I was really uninspired by the visuals of the first map, which is I don't know what fucking Nuketown. I don't know what it was called. I forgot. Perimeter. Really uninspired. The fauna there looks like a PS3 game. It was crazy.
I can't tell if it's the stylistic choice for Outsider, if it's temp. It feels kind of like a middle ground, but it's just such a
It's a really bad
stark
stylistic
difference
choice.
from the it's just so opposite of interior, which is maybe the point.
And the interior looks
But
great. But
yeah, interior's detailed, vibrant, and then you get outside, and I think I'm playing Wild Area and, the Sword and Shield.
and I thought
It's not
maybe it
that
was
bad,
just the
but
alpha of it all. I was like, oh, this just looks bad because they're still working on it. But then we went to Dire Marsh, and I was like, okay, this is what I was hoping to see in the fauna and the rocky terrain and the just general environment. Because like you're not going to be fighting inside the super industrialized buildings every single time, and you need to have separation of these really big high interest points of interest and also the environment in between each one of those. So I was super inspired by Perimeter, but Dire Marsh was a lot better. Actual places to hide. There was like fauna to like sit in. There was this really cool, like chromatic, fucked up, like perimeters
yeah,
that like obscured vision.
yeah.
So Dire Marsh is a way more interesting map, and I was like, this is awesome. This is what I want to see. I like the entire map feeling like it's designed versus just the interior. So that was good. The only other thing that I felt was like a major problem is that this is the least solo to duo player extraction friendly shooter I've ever played. Like if you're not going in with 3, you're not winning. Because right now it feels like there's such a massive, like, team shotting is ridiculous as it is in every single game, but because there's so much magnetism, which they are tuning down.
Yeah, they did say.
Because there's so much magnetism, and because
Although they only said for mouse and keyboard. So if all they do is remove mouse and keyboard,
which is gonna suck.
yeah, I don't mind a little bit because it definitely does feel.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel bad. Like I don't hate
I
it.
like it,
I do think it's too strong,
but I do like it.
but it's also gonna just again the discrepancy between controller and mouse and keyboard in a game like this. Uh, it would matter.
Yeah,
But I also know why. Again, like people were complaining, it definitely is too strong. I don't mind some.
for sure.
I mean, the main thing isn't the magnetism; it's the like the stickiness. I forget what exactly you call that, but like
You basically get an aimbot.
yeah, like it does feel weird on mouse and keyboard to have that same, not as much, but same stickiness like a controller can kind of get.
Oh yeah,
Ret- Someone in chat says reticle friction. Maybe that's what it's called. Yeah, where like it just subtly locks on, but having mouse and keyboard do that was like, well, this is strange. Like thinking like, wait, did I miss input? Because like I swear I'm not moving. But a little bit would feel a little bit better. But
yeah. That yes. God, now I'm thinking about it. There's so many times where I just like just hit, locked onto the head of another player and just massacre them, and I was like, sorry, big dog, I was pre-firing.
get destroyed.
Should have pre-fired. Should have pre-fired, big dog. But this is a super unfriendly game for solos or duos. Especially with how aggressive the AI is. Like the AI will see you from a long distance away, and they start shooting at you, and suddenly everyone hears that gunfight. And it's actually even harder because I do like this aspect is you don't have to like do some crazy special thing to resurrect your teammates. It's just an extra long revive timer for their bags, which is awesome. If a teammate survives, then yes, I absolutely want to. Like, it's really boring to just watch someone for the rest of the game when you can't ever come back. But this also makes it more difficult on solos and duos, because if you don't wipe a squad, which is going to be difficult, if you don't wipe a squad, then they're just going to perma-res their teammates all the time. So you're going to be stuck with them in that lobby for the rest of the time, which pros and cons.
Or you just have to. The other thing is you either accept that or you camp.
Yeah. There's a lot of pros and cons.
Exactly engaging.
And there's also a lot of status afflictions. And if you get afflicted by one, like it makes your fight way more difficult. simultaneously, just the I don't even know how to describe it. Just it's not like you can't succeed as a solo and a duo, but it's just really hard. It is really, really hard. There's so many different things that contribute to the fact that you are essentially fighting an uphill battle. And yeah, it was already going to be harder for a solo and a duo, but you're pretty much going to be stuck to only playing the more stealth based classes in this game for sure. Because it's going to be tough. Gonna be
I
tough.
think
This is going to be the game where solos are going to have to just accept that you're going to have to squad fill.
it's it's hard to say because I don't know exactly like how much the map was literally designed around thinking threes will be running around everywhere. So like if they did a whole solo lobby, maybe there's not enough POIs and it's too busy, or then people play I don't know. But
Who knows?
people mentioned that they could do something like Hunt, which I remember they do. I think they have like 2 game modes. They have solo, duo, or trios. So you do trios like it would, be right now, or you do solo, duo. And if you solo, you just accept that you could run into duos, but solo
Yeah.
or duo. So that way the queues aren't that separated, and it's still like the goal still isn't like, oh, we want you to be playing solo, but you can and you'll have a better shot. But it would give some people, especially like, I don't know, like just like that, like let's say MTash isn't getting on for a while and you and I want to play, would be a lot easier to be like, all right, we'll just do duos for now. Rather than I guess we're duoing in trios or we'll have to find a fill. I just think it gives a little more flexibility and will like I don't know, the people that really want to play solo and don't want a trio, I don't think will be like, well, I guess I'm going to trio. I feel like they're just going to be like, well, it's not the game for me, or I'll go play another extraction shooter. So I don't know. I don't think it would be a terrible idea to add like 2 queues like that. But again, I don't know. Like obviously it's like hero based. So I'm sure none of them were expressly designed to be their own solo, and the maps. Is there enough to support? Because like I forget how big a lobby is. It's like 18 or something. So like 6 teams essentially.
Yeah.
So would the map handle 18 different spawns with 18 different people? I don't know, but I definitely think that's going to be a pain point for a lot of people. People could point to Apex and be like, "Well, look at what Apex did." Yeah, but I mean, they did stick to their guns and it does work. And but I don't know.
Apex is
I feel like
also
that's
just a
a little
different,
bit different
yeah,
too.
like a BR is a lot different than an extraction shooter for sure.
Yeah. Um so good stuff. There's some bad stuff. I'm still mixed. Um
Very mixed.
I do think I will play it when it comes out. I'm gonna continue to I'll try the alpha some more. I'm sure there'll be a beta at some point. I'll follow along to see what stuff, like what changes they're doing or updates on content and stuff. Um, because it still does feel weird that what launch is 3 maps, 6 runners. Just doesn't feel like a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And we also don't know like how long is the season and whatnot. And I wonder what they're gonna do to combat the idea, like, let's say there's a week left in a season. I boot it up. I see all my contracts are at 0, all the progress I'll make in this week are about to go away. I imagine that, like, some people just be like, "Screw it, well, I'm just gonna wait for next season," or whatever. Maybe they don't care if that happens. I don't know if there's gonna be, like, a catch-up thing or, kinda like how they do in Destiny where it's like, "Oh, for the season pass, you didn't play the first 4 weeks, but you still have all the big challenges. You can still beat at the same time to, like, just catch up a little bit." I don't know. But yeah, it's not a glowing review, but at the same time, I mean, as I thought, it feels good to shoot the guns. The gunplay and gameplay is fun, but we'll have to wait to see if they can nail everything else and again capture that audience. because even lifting the NDA with the alpha, I still haven't seen much. A lot of people aren't making content. Really, nobody's in the Twitch directory right now. And again, I don't know how many like alpha codes they sent out or whatever. I think a big fumble too was they should have just given everyone that got an invite 2 extra codes. I mean, your whole idea is you want them to be 3s, right? So it would have made it easier. Somebody gets it. Oh, I can get my friends and we can play right now. Rather than like, oh, I guess I got to fill or maybe I'll wait or. But yes, I'm not entirely sure what the idea is. And again, it's a matter of will they be able to find that audience or the big enough audience? Because an extraction shooter doesn't need an audience the size of like a battle royale. But also, I don't know what Bungie. I think we talked about this. Like, what is Bungie thinking they're going to hit? What does success look like for Bungie? What like guideline parameter bar have they set of like this will mean marathon is succeeding or staying strong enough and is enough to support and blah blah blah, not considered a failure? I don't know. And considering it's the first AAA extraction shooter, it's probably a higher bar than all the others. So yeah, still a lot of questions, but feels good to shoot some guns. So I'll give him that. And again, I mean, I don't have quite the same tension I get from other extraction shooters, but for me, I don't mind quite as much. I do appreciate more of the run and gun, but the PvP fight still felt tense and fun. And so that's why I was like, I hear shots. Let's try and go find that because that's like the highlight for me. That's definitely when the game shines. So
Yeah.
if you guys ended
Yeah.
up having the alpha or have been watching, I'd love to hear. I guess if you're watching on the YouTube, comment down below or something. Your guys' thoughts. Because it's still very either mixed or divisive. A lot of people still meh or just like, yep, this isn't it, or I'm all about it. So yeah, marathon. Speaking of games though, there's one that's not mixed or divisive. It's actually quite unanimous. Clare Obscure
Oh my
33
god.
came out.
Holy.
I think it's currently the highest rated Metacritic game or Metascore game ever at like 97 user reviews. I think it's going up
Yeah,
right
the
now,
user
which is wild.
the user review scores, I think it's the highest it's that game has ever seen. So it's huge. I've been watching my partner play it. And I really want to play it as well. I'm probably gonna start this week, like after I get off work and stuff. But I've been really excited for this game for a long time because it just seemed like such a cool concept of like really just taking like it's just one of those games that like takes every single inspiration from every single RPG that has ever been made and just like kind of like throws it together in like some soup. So I think it's really sick. Pairing and there is pairing. Whenever the opponent has a turn, you have the opportunity to parry their attack.
I'm booting it up right now.
I was gonna say all I had to say was Mr.Fruit, it has parry. It is still a turn-based RPG game, but it's like
I mean, I like turn-based.
It's impressive how much they've managed to keep it a true turn-based RPG game while adding these different elements of the game that keep it fresh and interesting. And I would say this is like the most unique true turn-based RPG game without just turning into basically just like an action title, you know what I mean? Like with 7 Rebirth and what is it? What's it called? 7 Rebirth and what's the other one?
16?
Jeez. No, 16 was just straight up an
Well, I
action
guess
game.
yeah.
7 Rebirth and the other one. Jeez.
Are we talking about Final Fantasy?
Unions or some shit? I don't know.
Oh.
The one that just came out. Final Fantasy 7 Remake and I guess Rebirth was the newest one. Whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, I got you.
Where it's essentially a turn-based game with action elements. This one is still like a true turn-based game. And there's still elements to it that give it more action, but it's still pure in its intention of we're gonna take turns and we're gonna do things and it's gonna be fun. And I think it's amazing. I think what they've done and pulled off is incredible. There's so much variety in the game as well for an RPG, and I mean, this game is dripping in like Atlas titles like Persona
Hmm.
in inspiration, but also like so many different RPGs that had like the like the button presses to accomplish your to get like, maximum value out of your spells and stuff or your actions. There's just so many different things. The parrying opponents' attacks on their turns is super cool.
You
There's
know
just a
what
lot.
there.
There's just a lot. There's so much to the game, and I'm still finding more when I watch my partner play. And he's in love with this game. He will not stop playing this game. He played for like 12 hours yesterday and was like, I really want to go to bed, but I also really want to play this game. And I was like, that's some good shit. We like seeing that. So I really love this game. When I saw previews, I was so excited, and seeing it turn out as good as it did is amazing. Especially for this. This is the studio's first game, so I'm. It's also funny because there's so many ex Ubisoft devs that made this game, and it's such a small team too. So it's like it's just amazing to see like what these devs can do when they aren't tied down by like an executive telling them, "Nope, you're making this game. Nope, you're making X number 48 live service slop of the year 2025." So yeah, I think it's an amazing game. I'm so excited. Seeing how much love it's getting is amazing, and the soundtrack is so hard. It's so good.
I've literally just seen unanimous prayer or like reviews. Like I literally have nothing to say. Like music's phenomenal, dialogue's great, story's good, combat's perfect. Like every, I'm like, oh
And
sheesh,
this is
man.
the voice acting is incredible because this cast is stacked. Like this is a stacked ass cast of voice actors. So
So regardless, I have it downloaded. Um, I do want to play it. I don't know. I saw that like if you don't do all the side missions, blah blah blah. I don't know. Maybe playthrough takes like 35 to 40 hours. I would like to play it. I feel like if I play it, I'm gonna want to like as I do like just play that and finish it through. So I don't know if I can do it right now. I kind of want to,
it's
but now
definitely
that I'm
very
back, gotta
narrative.
catch up. And
It's definitely a very narrative game as well. So maybe not the. I know for a lot of people they don't really want to stream. They don't really like streaming narrative games because they just kind of like focusing on it. So maybe not the most. Maybe not the best stream game because I'm also the same. Where like if it's a narrative game, I'm just gonna play it in my and like soak it up on my own. So
well, for me, if it's content, I feel like streaming would be the best. Like content for me on a game like this is way harder.
100%. Yeah.
So if I were, I would stream it, and then I don't know what a video would look like. But yeah,
Clare
if I
Obscure
do or don't,
solved my taxes, got rid of my jaw problems, and made me consume 200 grams of protein a day.
not clickbait, a million views.
I think it's an amazing game. I am so excited for so many people to try it, um, including myself, because I have yet to hop in, but I've been following this game for a long time, and watching my partner lose his shit over how much he loves this game has been amazing. So I'm gonna hop in and jork my peanuts.
Yeah, I've still seen very little. I'm staying blind. At this point, it's like, all right, well, I've heard how good it is, so I guess I'll see for myself. Um, so yeah, I can't wait to hop in when I do get the chance. There's also been another game, which is quite a time commitment, that Shadow dropped, even though there were some rumors. This all happened while I was gone.
Big rumors.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, the remaster, dropped. Shadow dropped last Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember which. To a lot of hype and resounding happiness, obviously. Bunch of people love that game, adore that game, and got a big remaster in Unreal Engine 5. Looks like it's doing pretty well. High player count. People were pretty hyped. Apparently, pretty terrible performance and optimization, as I guess you would expect. From I guess anything that says Bethesda. But still a bunch of fun. And from what I understand, I never played Oblivion, but they didn't just like graphic overhaul. They did do some tuning, change like some leveling and stuff. Because I guess there's a bunch of crazy, broken, unfun stuff like back in original Oblivion. And And will I get to that? I'm not sure. That's like 100+ hour commitment right there. Um, but people are obviously eating it up, having fun. It looks great. Like it's definitely a remaster. They did a great job, and I'm always a fan of shadow drops. I always prefer the, hey, check this out, it's sick, right? Oh, by the way, play it right now. Uh, These days, especially, I just prefer that rather than like, yo, check this out, see you in 3 years. Or like, oh, that looks sick. Wait for a year and a half. Oh, and then we're gonna get delayed, and then oh, we're gonna. I prefer just hit us with the sauce. And that's one thing I get behind Todd, because that's I guess like he prefers that. Like if he could, he would shadow drop everything. My man, Todd, my man. Um, and he did with this. It nearly broke the internet. So I know people have been playing that. I don't. Again, I don't know when or if I'll get to it. Do you feel? Did you ever play Oblivion? Are you looking to play this?
I was shocked when it got released. I knew there were rumors, but I was like, I'm also the type of person who hangs around a group of friends who is nonstop talking about, oh, this is Bloodborne. Oh, Bloodborne. Oh, they're hinting Bloodborne. And so I'm just numb to the concept of like, oh, this is Oblivion. They're gonna show Oblivion. Oh, they're gonna do an Oblivion remaster. And then they did. I was like, oh shit. Oh, today. Oh, all right, Bethesda. You know, you've had a rough couple of years, but I'll let you guys cook with this one. So that was really cool. I have never been in the Skyrim games, I have to admit. The Skyrim games, Jesus Christ. I've never been in the Elder Scrolls games, I have to admit. So I have to imagine Rob is probably going to go crazy on this when he gets home.
I'd have to imagine. I mean, he loves Skyrim. I played Skyrim once on release, never finished it. It's not that I don't like it. I don't know. And there's so many mods and stuff to go back to. I just enjoyed Sneak Archer. You know, I was that guy. And nowadays too, I don't know. Like the problem for me is gameplay's kind of janky, and I like gameplay. Uh, like everything else about the game, the fantasy, the setting, the open world, the systems, leveling. I love all of that, but when the gameplay's so one dimensional, uh, it's always tough for me. Granted, I don't know. Maybe there's mods out there that make uh the gameplay feel a lot better, but like that's also why Sneak Archer, because like the melee didn't feel great, and I don't love being a mage really in any game. I always prefer Unga Bunga, but then yeah, it just felt so one dimensional. So I've appreciated the game, but yeah, I've never been like I am more excited for Elder Scrolls 6, uh, hoping that a lot of that stuff gets addressed. Because yeah, like Skyrim, but with great combat. We'll bet I'm there. Um, but yeah, so that's also why, like, as far as Oblivion, I'm not like bullish on it because I never played it before. I did hear it's supposed to have like better writing and stories, but the gameplay itself still seems pretty one dimensional. Like, didn't really level up at all, and that's really the biggest thing turning me off. Especially in an open world game that I'm going to spend 100+ hours in. Like, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a bunch of yapping and narrative, and typically there's like ain't no way. And if it had the combat of Skyrim, I wouldn't have made it. But it has great melee combat, or just combat in general. So then I'm like, all right, I'll stick with it. Um, so yeah, love that for everybody else. Probably not as big a news for us though.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. I know how massive the Elder Scrolls fan base is, so this is really sick. Plus, it probably is like a nice little thing to hold people over until the next Elder Scrolls game comes out in 2042. So
Yeah, hopefully it'll last another 20 remasters before we get 6.
before we do a little bit of Q&A, there is one final topic. Did anyone get their hands on a Switch 2? Because it seems like no one got their hands on a Switch 2. What
I didn't
happened?
even I guess I missed the windows or whatever, but I did see a lot of people saying, "Nope, didn't get one." Anybody else?
Where
I think one person say they got it. But
where where is the Switch 2? Not like I can afford it right now because I've had a bunch of random bills come up. But man, what happened? No one got it. I'm mad. And I'm probably not going to get a Switch 2 until like 8 years down the road, which kind of sucks because I need a Switch 2.
I just need to get it before next Pokemon. That's really it.
Same.
And so I'd like to imagine I should be able to get my hands on it before then, right?
I
should be. Right.
Mr. Fruit, please.
Which did remind me, just because the Switch 2 reveal showed Hollow Knight. I think I saw something where like the Steam page or like the trailer from Nintendo or like the release date or something like got removed. And so everyone's like it's the meme of like, we're so back. It's so over. We're so back. It's so over. So now they're like, wait, why? What do you mean? That would be wild if that still ended up getting something. But yeah, no, I saw it happen. I seemed like, yeah, unanimously people are having trouble getting their hands on it. I don't know what like how many pre-orders were available. And yeah, I'm not itching because again, it's not like there's a launch title. I'm like, oh, gotta grab. In fact, there's really not. Aside from Mario, I don't really know what would be a launch title. The Mario Kart thing. So yeah, the way I see it, I got until like what, probably like November. I don't actually have they given ZA a release date? I just assume it's November. I don't know.
They said later this year. They said late 2025. So
okay, I'll chalk
I don't think they've actually.
November,
no, they said fall 2025. So probably November, as a tradition.
So if I can just get it by then,
yeah,
we're being chilling.
I have a long time to save up, and I will need to save up. Especially with the tariffs, who knows? It is cool that it's stayed at $450, but all the accessories going up in price hurts a lot.
Getting new Joy-Cons for $90, that's wild, man. So anywho, yeah, Switch 2.
Well, Mr. Fruit,
good luck with that.
While our Switch 2 dreams are over. Oh, you got it? You got it?
Yeah, we got some Q&A.
Let's do it, Mr. Fruit. Run me down. I mean, run it on me. I mean, blow my back out.
Whoa.
I mean,
run a train.
Run a train on me.
Q&A. I'm assuming Rob's removed the ones we already did. So, Burb of 1,000 Voices. Recently subscribed to the Patreon like 5 minutes ago to show my support. Anyways, my question is, if you had to be stuck in a room with one other Dream Team member for 10 years, who would be the best and worst person to pick and why? And a note, you would have the food and water to survive, so that is the least of your worries.
Who would be the best and the worst? This is a hard question.
I'm trying to think. I think it would be easy to say Rob for best, just because I've known him the longest and we haven't killed each other yet. So I have the longest track history of knowing, all right, Rob and I probably wouldn't kill each other. So Rob would probably be the best. The worst, kind of hard to say. It depends on who has the hardest time with gas. Because I might be hotboxing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 10 years. So whoever has the worst time with farts, that would be the worst because they are not going to like 10 years with me. You know what I'm saying? My brand.
I would say the easiest would probably be Dork because we share the same brain rot. So that'd be super easy. I would say the worst. I don't know.
Make this your best season yet with the nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Something really cool that happened with Factor the other day. I ordered a box and one of the meals actually exploded in the box. And Factor gave me a brand new box within 2 days of me telling them what my issue was. They are really there listening to their customers if anything happens. The customer satisfactory division within Factor is so awesome. So Cindy and I were able to enjoy all those meals. And for me, which is really hard, eat a little bit more healthy. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Get started at factormeals.com/GG50off and use code GG50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code GG50off at factormeals.com/GG50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
Worst, dude. I don't know who the worst would be. I love you, Bless. I truly do.
Actually, if he Bing Zoided me for like
I
the fifth
love you,
time or
Bless,
something,
but he would just start reciting memes ad infinitum, and I would lose my fun. That would actually drive me insane. I would not be able to handle Bless for 10 years in a room with him because he would turn his linguistics into just Yingling, chicken jock, like nonstop. I would never be able to have an actual fucking conversation with this dude. So I love you, Bless. You are amazing. I hope this doesn't make you feel like I'm the worst, but you know what you would do in a room with another person. You would drive them to insanity.
the saving grace is I do like his laugh. It's the
I
only,
love
it's
his
the only
laugh.
reason I
Yeah.
don't kill him. You know, I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
How could I kill a man that's jovial as that? Stormvirus, Mr. Fruit, if you had to choose between bringing Battleborn back or Gotham City Imposters into mass popularity, what would you choose? Love them both. That's tough. But I think I'd bring Battleborn back. Simply because as a whole, there's more variety and it'd have more longevity in the way that most MOBAs do, where every game really feels drastically different and there's more content. I mean, Gotham City Imposters was great. I would take either. But if I had to choose, definitely be Battleborn. Because we also never even got like support to see what live service would be, new things. So yeah, I'd go Battleborn. One lacks any supernatural or paranormal experiences. I think we've talked about this. I don't have many. The only one is that story in the backyard where I could have sworn Claire was calling to me. When I was out taking Olive to the bathroom and then realizing she wasn't home, and that was very spoopy. But otherwise, nothing convincing enough where I'm like, whoa, I don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah. I have no connection to either of these games.
To these games?
Oh.
I'm saying experiences.
Oh.
Supernatural or paranormal.
You moved on to that so quick. I thought you were still talking about Gotham City Imposters or Battleborn.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I have no experience with the supernatural paranormal. I don't think I do. I can't honestly remember when I ever had a genuine paranormal or I'm a skeptic, so I'm always finding like explanations for things. I will say the only time that I have ever felt like I had no idea what was happening and like I still can't find an explanation is when in me and my partner's old apartment, well, it was mostly his apartment and I visited, there was one night when I went to sleep and I woke up and my door was wide open and I assumed, oh, he probably just came in and saw that I was asleep and was like, oh, what am I doing? And then, but then he also said, hey, did you try to like open my door in the morning? Because he heard like a jiggle at his doorknob. And I was like, no, I didn't. My door was flung wide open. Like that didn't wake me up, but like it was open and I usually have it like closed but unlocked. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So yeah, that was the only time that was weird. I was like, did like maintenance come in and realize, oh shit, and like leave or like, because that's the only explanation I could like realistically make is like maintenance came in and realized like they made a mistake. Like they thought like this was an apartment that was notified as like no one's home, so they could just come in, and they like tried to look around. They're like, "What? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, people are here. Just gonna leave now." Because like, if someone broke in, they moved nothing and they stole nothing. But
Like, but they stole your mind.
oh shit, I have been a lot dumber since then.
Whoa.
And there's no like, I don't know, man. I still can't like pin down an exact thing. I think it was probably maintenance potentially coming in and realizing that this is the wrong apartment and leaving. My partner is a lot different. He was like, ghost. It's fucking ghost.
Yeah, I would have
And
been like, get the gat. Somebody broke in.
and I was like, I've never had, neither of us have had like sleepwalking anything. So I don't know. One of our friends came by. She brought a whole lot of like of her witch stuff to like cleanse the place
Seance.
of bring the good vibes. Brought the incense and all that good stuff, and was like, "Yep, we're gonna cleanse this place." And I was like, I still don't know. I still don't fully know. So that was probably my only like true paranormal experience.
Get you a homie that'll come over and purify your place.
Real shit.
Caraxi, was there ever a time where you tried something you thought would be easy and turns out it was not? Yes.
All the
Almost everything.
time. Every single time I try something.
Life, let's just as a whole. Um, Adulting, I guess. Growing up, you never really thought about it. You're like, yeah, whatever. And I'll finally get to be out on my own and live my life. Yeah, it's not that easy. It has its perks, but you'd never really realize. But as far as something you thought would be easy. I mean, like a bunch of hobbies I tried to pick up. Um, just always thinking like, oh, I'll pick this up and already be at least adept or better than average. And then you're like, oh, not so much. Just like when I first tried to pick up like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, I knew I hadn't played much fighting games. I knew it might be tough, but I like it can't be that. Oh, it's terrible. Um, just like I will play 2XK when it comes out, but I'm now aware of the fact that I'm not even being like it'll be easier. Like no, I'm probably just gonna get stomped on for a while, but maybe eventually I get there. League of Legends. My friend told me about it first. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll check it out. Holy. Um, that quickly changed my mind. But yeah, I think as a whole, most of the times, everything you see, like, I could do that. It doesn't look that hard. Yeah, 99% of the time you're wrong. Just know that. So yeah, for me, I mean, the list is kind of endless. There's been very few times where I thought it the opposite, where it's like, oh, that was easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly. I'm constantly playing or trying something new, and I was like, this will be easy. Nope. It's a whole thing. And then I give up because it's too hard.
I do that a lot. It has to be the right kind of hard. Like, there has to be some part of it that I just like so much. And then I'm like, well, I have to get good. But that happens very rarely. Like, League was one of the few times where, like, I hit a wall, and I'm like, all right, I'll actually try to break through this wall rather than like, all right, yeah, screw it. I'll just go on the next thing. All right. Mark Rissay, Mr. Fruit, is there a Pokemon Fruit Lock coming in the near future, or is that further on the back burner for now? Near future, probably not. It's on the back burner. There will always be some sort of Fruit Lock in the future. Right now, I'm still trying to juggle everything. If I were to throw it back on the plate right now, I would just burn myself out again right now. So trying to sort that out, but I would say within the next few months, it's probably going to be a solo one for this next one. So more so figuring out which one I want to play. Kind of want to play like one of the modded ones or whatever, or like Infinite Fusion or whatever, but And most people are like, "Oh, do that," but then I actually do, like, polls or, like, ask people, and majority actually just wants to see another base game. I don't know. So, I gotta figure out what I'm doing. And if I just say, "Screw it, we're gonna do a modded something." Uh, look forward to it. You'll know when I either have it planned or, you'll see the upload, but I'm sure I'll announce it on the podcast by the time I figure something out. Johnny Appleseed, if you were one of the characters in Split Fiction, what do you think your subconscious's world would look like?
Man, you don't even want to know. Holy.
Just a brain rot cesspool.
Yeah.
Chicken jockeys running around. I think I
Chicken
know what Blesses would be.
jockey.
I can kind of guess what Blesses would be. Instead of like a world full of methane, it would be a world full of ligma, giant ligma pool, giant Yingling bottles floating around
Jesus.
as the islands. A bunch of seagulls flying around yelling the gall. Just pure meme chaos. But like true chaotic neutral. But as far as my subconscious, it's a good question. There'd be a lot of random stuff, but I definitely think as a whole there'd be a pretty universal trend of some of the more period stuff, more fantasy, medieval, feudal, a lot of that stuff. Throw in some random sci-fi here and there. But like in the game of Split Fiction, mine would look more like the fantasy one than the sci-fi one. And also, for better or for worse, just like an infinite jukebox playing throughout. Whether I want it to stop or not. And it's not full songs either. It's just random birds and it's like, and I couldn't stop it.
Hmm. I don't know, man. It would be fucked up. It'd be a mix of fucked up. It'd be a mix of random memes and then like random horny. And then at the same time, like a little tiny spark of inspiration in the corner of like creativity, but then the rest is just like doomium, 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 doomium. I'd say like a solid like
Yeah,
50% is just like an endless void of nothing happening though, for sure.
yeah, I didn't want to get too real and just be like, well, it'd probably be pretty overcast, sad, and all around a little depressing. But I don't think it wouldn't, you know, ideally. Um, we have Boofus. What is everyone's opinion on the new Pokemon game? I think it kind of looks like poop, and the concept is a bit meh. Take it away, Blue.
Wait, you think it looks meh?
I
Mr.
don't necessarily
Fruit?
disagree. I'm not sure. I mean, the concept's not new. At this point, it's Legends Arceus, but in a city.
I think it looks great.
Okay. I'm happy. I mean, if they're saying it looks bad as a whole, as just like graphically, I mean, it looks bad. That's not a surprise.
I'm really excited to have a new battle system that isn't the stupid,
That's true.
like really like 4 moves RPG system. I'm really excited to see like what they do with it and how the combat changes. Yeah, it's not the most inspiring Pokemon game, but for us, we get crumbs, and these crumbs are different flavor crumbs, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
I would agree. The thing that I think I'm most excited for is the new combat. However, I hope it's more nuanced and less gimmicky. Like it doesn't just evolve to like a move left, click same button, move right, click same button, move left, click same button. I hope there's a little bit more to it uh, that makes it fun and engaging rather than like, I don't want to have to run into this thing because then I'm going to have to do this whole, and it's just like, it's just going to be the same. So hopefully, yeah, it's a little more fun. I do enjoy that part. The rest of it, I think, as far as the concept, I mean, it's Arceus. I liked Arceus, but aside from the battle system, I guess we'll have to wait to see more. But it doesn't look like there's too much, like anything new necessarily, aside from the battle system. Um, I mean, I'm hyped for new megas. That's for sure. I'll freaking take new megas. So getting to see all the new megas will be fun. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't like. I'm more meh, I think, than you, but I still think I'm excited for it. I don't think it's gonna be bad or like okay. I mean, the last Pokemon game I really enjoyed was Arceus. I didn't hate Scarlet and Violet, but I think Arceus definitely surprised me more. So I hope this one can do the same.
I'm really excited for it. I hope that it works out really good. I hope that everyone gets what they want. I'm so excited to see Megas back. I'm so excited to have a new battle system. I'm so excited to have a Pokemon game that doesn't look like complete dog ass graphically, even though a lot of people are saying it could use some work. And I agree, it could definitely use some work. Especially since the sad part is they've probably been showcasing it from Switch 2 hardware this whole time. So I'm excited. I love Pokemon. I love seeing them try new things. And maybe it doesn't look the greatest. That's true. It's not going to win Game of the Year, but I am excited, and I hope it. And I hope
But it might
makes,
win your game of the year, and that's what matters.
I hope it makes me happy because this year I have been struggling without having a true Pokemon game come out. Pokemon Pocket TCG has become a part of my life, which is awesome. But like I'm, not having like a true Pokemon vibing with my homies doing their own thing I felt it this year. I have felt it this year.
I think they'd be interesting. I'm not sure if they'll do it, but if they do end up doing multiplayer battles with the new battle system, be interested to see how if it's either interesting or troll. Who knows? Gimmicky, but that'd be interesting.
And having like the raid battles back from Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, I would love to see that in this format. So
it would be interesting having everyone try to juggle. I got aggro. Pop Kurt, Thoughts on Fruit and Robbie TFT double up content. There are a bunch of changes with his latest patch to make it more legitimate game mode. Rob's not here, so I can't speak to him. Yeah, I guess maybe if he's interested, I'll look into it. I haven't played TFT for like 2 or 3 sets, so I'm behind. I'm rusty. Obviously, to have to get acquainted with the new set, and more than likely, it'd be stream content. Not a lot of stuff I can do with videos for that. But it's not off the table. I didn't know they'd changed a bunch, so I'd be interested to see as a mode what exactly has changed. MC534, what's the worst secondhand embarrassment you've experienced? The worst secondhand experience. I mean, I've had plenty of bad secondhand embarrassment, but the worst, or maybe I'll try and think like I don't know, first one that comes to mind. You got anything?
God, I try to like block out secondhand embarrassment from my brain. Whenever I watch like those failed proposal videos, honestly, public proposals give me crazy secondhand embarrassment. I feel like that's like such a relic of the past. And unless you've talked with your partner about it to do like a public proposal, I always get crazy cringe because I feel like most public proposals are not discussed with the partner. Yeah, probably public proposals, especially in like really like dense populated areas like Disneyland and Disney World and shit.
I'm trying to remember because there was something, a reveal or like something happened within, I want to say the last few months where there really was something. I was like, I like almost had to turn it off or something because it was so bad. I want to say I mentioned it on the podcast, but I can't for the life of me tell you what it is right now. Um, so yeah, there's definitely a bunch of like videos of people doing that stuff that make me cringe. I don't watch a lot of like reality TV or anything. Like most of the stuff I watch is scripted, so getting secondhand embarrassment from that is usually harder. Um, I literally can't even think of an example. I know it happens a lot, but I can't even think of one. And it's
I try not
driving me
to.
crazy.
I try not to remember. That's probably
Yeah,
why it's so hard for me.
I definitely don't try to sit on it. Like, why would I want to like ruminate about that? It's usually just like, oh my, I just want to move on and pretend that never
Yeah.
happened. Um, yeah, I wish I had something, but that's why these questions are tough. They ask, and then someone's just like, oh, blanks. I turned to SpongeBob with fine dining. Thank you for the question. Golden Ghost 008. This will be our last question. In each of your opinions, which state or states has the worst drivers? For me in the East Coast, it has to be New Jersey or Maryland.
Hmm. Man. The worst drivers. Honestly, since I've moved to Oklahoma, it's Oklahoma.
Fair.
It was for a while. It was Oklahoma. Or no, sorry. For a while, it was Florida. For a while, I thought when I lived in Florida, that was the worst. But Oklahoma has taken the cake.
For me, it's pretty comfortably whichever state I'm currently driving in. But realistically, I mean, like, Colorado's not terrible. People can be some boners when there's like some winter conditions, but I think I've definitely had worse. Well, I can't really say where I was last week for my trip, but that has to be up there. Um, I guess what I've noticed is like any big city with, especially like Ubers. I swear every Uber driver is trying to get me killed, man.
Real.
They are wild style, and big cities especially. People drive like maniacs. Um, so really any of those, but especially with Uber driving stuff, man. Because like especially this last week, I haven't really Ubered in a long time, or in like a big city, and my God, thought I was gonna die a couple times. I ain't gonna front. But yeah, that's
Wow.
probably it.
I've never felt like I was gonna die in an Uber. I mean, I'm like, dang, like they're really
Telling you,
cooking
man.
me. They're really cooking me. Like, oh, they're like talking shit about the other drivers. Crazy. I just want to get on my. Dang. All right, damn, relax, guys. Like, Mr. Fruit's just trying to get to his terminal.
All I'm saying, man. Like I am like even the one, yeah, on the way to the airport was like, "Hey, man, you in a hurry?"
Yeah.
Like, no, actually, I'm leaving early.
No,
I got time.
just a normal drive, sir.
Yeah, like you don't got to get crazy, man. But I get it. I mean, I guess for them, it's like every minute counts. That's one less for the next drive or whatever. I couldn't do it. Makes me anxious. Uh, but anyway, that'll do it for this episode of the GG Over Easy podcast. Next week, I'm sure Rob will be joining us back unless he has his nth bachelor party to go to yet again. Imagine having that many friends. With that said, want to appreciate you all for watching, listening, supporting wherever you do. Thank you for the questions. For the Patreon users, be sure to subscribe to Patreon if you want to support us. Aside from listening, no obligation though. And we will see you next week. Bye bye.